My name is Professor Baldy, and I run a school for juvenile delinquents. But not just any delinquents. Mine are specially gifted. You might even call them mutants. Trust a few reformed ex-cons. Tangerine.
Am I the apple of your eye, Bubba?
Jeannie Gray. Beastie Boy. Oh, everybody dance now. Snow Cone.
Is it hot in here, or is it just me?
And their friends from X-FARCE. Cable TV.
Eat remote control, frog face.
Garfarel. Meow. Dominoes.
This book has just the right amount of cheese.
And introducing the Newt Mutants. Beware the rest. Magneto. Mistress Piggy. And not at all breaking the fourth wall. Cesspool. Now, Parody Press Comics is back with X-FARCE Reloaded #1. Don't miss this extraordinary comics extravaganza with 7 full color stories of marvelous mutant mayhem. Back this book today for awesome variant covers and original artwork tiers. 48 pages of action and hilarious hijinks by some of comics' funniest talents. Parody Press, making the world laugh again. Only on Indiegogo.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Phil from Zaid Comics, and we're back with another awesome stream. I've been streaming so much this week. It's been good, though. It's a lot of fun, and I'm glad people are tuning in and watching. If you guys are just tuning in, definitely hit that like button on this video and subscribe if you haven't already, and spread the word. Tell everybody we're live. Looking at another awesome comic, this time from a veteran of publishing, Don Chin. We'll be talking with him. So yeah, hit that like button, share it out, and ring the bell for notifications because we do these all the time. I was just on last night with another creator, and we'll be doing this, every week as well. Hopefully getting back into doing some videos to trying to grow the YouTube channel, as well as do all these comics. We got Drew in the chat. What's up, Drew? Thanks for tuning in. And what about? Thank you for watching us today. And yeah, let's get the man in here himself, Don Chin. What's up, man?
Hey, man. Good to see you, Phil. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Always, man. Yeah, of course. I love what you're doing right now. And you, like I said, you're a veteran of publishing. You took a break for a little while and have been making the rounds on streams currently, getting the word out about your new book.
Yeah.
And yeah, how has it been kind of getting back into the publishing gig after so long?
It's a lot of fun, and it's also new, and I'm kind of absorbing how crowdfunding works because this is our first crowdfunding effort. So just kind of in the wings, waiting until the right time was to launch. And I think there's a lot of excitement and anxiety that builds up when you're building a campaign, and I don't remember this type of stress when I was doing this in the 90s and the 80s. And now, because of I think you kind of have to be willing to stream and kind of be a celebrity online now to kind of get people to follow you. And the old days, it was just send your books off to Diamond and they would do all the selling. And now it's like one-on-one with the consumer. It's a challenging thing, but I like it, but it's exhausting, I think. To be honest with you.
No, it is. You're totally right. It's an overtime job, when especially you're writing and or doing art and stuff like that. That's a job within itself, and then to have to go on and basically door to door sell your book. As we do as writers, going on different streams, it's basically like that. It's like, hey, get to know me, and also here's this book that I'm creating for you guys. I could imagine it's vastly different from when you were pumping them out in the 90s.
Yeah. And
sure.
on one hand, I thought, okay, well, if I'm going to publish a book, what should it be? Should I do something totally new? Ideally, the project that I thought was going to kind of launch me into the known creators was the Cyber Frog Hamsters book.
Yeah.
That got shelved because of just circumstances out of my control. So now I kind of found myself, well, what do I do now? And X-FARCE was a book that sold well in the 90s. And I just thought, well, we already got 30 pages of what I think is pretty funny material, but it's never been in color. So why don't we recolor that and then add about 18 pages of new stuff? So it's 48 pages, full color, no ads. And, it's the best of the 90s. And then also a lot of new talent in this book.
Yeah, that's awesome. We'll get into that. Let's see. We got El Gargo in the chat. What's up, man? Ace also here. Eric McIntyre. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hit that like button. And for people, like you said, you mentioned the hamsters. So that was kind of the first time I saw you come around over here, kind of like the online crowdfunding community, is when Ethan was talking about doing the hamsters crossover with Cyberfrog,
Right.
which was really exciting because I was, talking with EJ Morges, who was going to be doing art with for that, and I saw some of the concept art he did for those characters, and it looked really cool, the different hamsters. And if people are not familiar with those characters, you did kind of your breakout book in the 90s was the hamsters book. Just give a little rundown on what that was. I'm going to pull up your comic vine here to show that these are the actual old hamsters books, right?
Yeah. Hamsters, actually, the first issue was back in '86. It was the first parody in the Ninja Turtles. And at the time I was in college, almost finished up with college, and I owned a comic book store. And so I was really into comics and collecting, and everybody was talking about the Turtles, kind of this sleeper alternative underground book by Eastman and Laird. So I got some of the books into my store, and I really liked the vibe of it. It felt kind of, underground and gritty, and yet at the same time, very funny and preposterous. So, I couldn't keep them in stock. They were selling out, even, the second printings and third printings. So I just thought, wow, this is quite a weird concept. And why don't I think of something that would spoof it? And in a college class, I just came up with the name, and I doodled some of the kind of basic way I thought they would look. And I took it to a friend that was a much better artist than I was, named Parsonovich. And so he basically drew the whole 30-page issue on spec, and we didn't have a publisher, but I kind of started shopping it around, and I knew the people from Eclipse Comics because they were kind of not that far from me in Northern California, and we would hit kind of like the Bay Area Comic Con circuit. So I kind of knew who they were. And so they were one of the first people I pitched the hamsters to. And to my surprise, they said, "Yeah, we like it. Let's go with it." And it sold really well, and it started to kind of get a cult following after that.
That's cool. How well did the first issue sell? Do you remember?
I think, Phil, the first issue was like 53,000.
Wow.
For a black and white by a couple of nobodies.
Yeah, for sure, man. That's awesome.
And then it went into a second printing, which was like 27,000. And so we had 9 issues in the very first series. Parsonovich couldn't keep up with the rigors of a bi-monthly or even a quarterly book. So we kind of had a couple fill-in issues. And then Sam Keith, who I met through cons, he was looking for a penciling job.
Yeah.
Back in the day, he was just inking Mage with Matt Wagner.
And this is a cover by Sam Keith right here. Yeah,
Sam and I kind of go back a ways, and he's done some Parody Press covers for me. But unfortunately I lost touch with him. But I really he's a really easy guy to work with and super talented, as everyone knows.
Yeah, that's awesome. Of course, him going on and doing the Max at Image, which is great. I mean, the guys worked on everything, like the Wolverine stuff. He did the super famous Lobo cover, and did some Lobo work as well.
Yeah.
but that's really cool that he kind of, got his start with the hamsters and doing stuff with you.
Yeah.
Very, very, very awesome. So yeah, and I saw you on Kami Mark stream, the awesome, infamous Kami Mark. He was
that guy's a riot, man.
Yeah, he's so cool. He's a great friend of ours, and he was going through your Comic Vine stuff and all of the catalog that you've worked on over your years in comics is really cool. I mean, Stargate stuff. I also saw you were hanging out with Preston Acevedo. He was talking about the Zen book. It's a lot of cool stuff, and it's awesome that you're getting back into it. It really seems like you have the fire and passion back, bringing back this X-FARCE stuff. Now, after this, is there maybe some other IPs you have in your pocket after this?
Yeah. We have Beard Zerker, which is coming out, which is it's kind of a spoof of Keanu Reeves' Kickstarter, Berserk.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
I'll try to find it. I'll try to find the image and show it to you. We got a Kanan White cover on it.
Oh,
and it's colored by awesome. It's going to be really awesome. Let me see. This could be it right here. I'll try to share my screen with you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
It's loading.
Beard Zerker.
It's going to be a lot of fun. It's kind of like what if Rip Van Winkle, a guy was like Rip Van Winkle and fell asleep in the 80s and then woke up now, but he's kind of like Conan the Barbarian. I'll show you the black and white. I just pulled that one up. So I'm going to share it with you.
Awesome.
Then maybe I can show you the color one in a minute. But here's Kanan's black and white.
Wow, dude. Yeah, that's a Kanan cover.
So it looks like they're the Vespas from Cyberfrog, but they're actually more like 2020 murder hornets that we were kind of threatened with.
Yeah.
So they're not gigantic. They're more, a reasonable size than.
Are you able to zoom in on that?
Let's see. I'm boomering, man. I don't know how to zoom. Hang on, maybe. I think I can zoom in.
I think. Yeah, there you go.
There we go. I see. So his weapon is actually an axe. That's a guitar because he borrows from a lot of rock and roll influence. So his power is given to him from like Eddie Van Halen and Slash. So he's almost got like this Mighty Thorish guitar axe that has huge powers.
That's kick-ass. And this is going to be still under Parody Press?
I haven't decided if I want to make it Parody Press or just have more of a non. I don't want to pigeonhole this because it does have a lot of comedy in it, but it's also got a lot of action, and we skewer everything from. I kind of make fun of COVID, and instead of it being like this, Wu flu bat type of disease, there's actually an earworm that people get. It's the Rick Astley never gonna give you up earworm. So everybody across the world gets infected with this. So it totally disrupts our economy because no one can function without singing this song. Yeah. And it happens to be like a German terrorist that's pumping it out because he wants Germany's economy to, outsell everybody else. So put this earworm out there. And so that's one of the things that Beard Zerker has to find the solution for. And he's also very much against millennial musicians and how self-absorbed they are. Yeah. So he actually goes to the MTV Music Awards and just lays waste to all the different pop stars from today. So awesome, man. It's pretty bloody, but in a funny, comical way.
Yeah, if you got that action down, that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited for that. Yeah, thanks for sharing with that, man. That's
You're welcome.
Yeah, but we are looking at X-FARCE now, and tell us about this. This was something that was a series back in the day that you did, and you're kind of bringing it back where it's reloaded.
Yeah, Phil. After the hamsters kind of had their run in the 80s and 90s, I was still working with Eclipse doing a few projects off and on. Some were comedy, some were fantasy stuff. And Rob Liefeld came on the scene, and he was immediately loved and adored by comic book nerds. He eventually got his X-Force book at Marvel, and everybody was like, going goo goo gaga over it. And I'm thinking it sold like 5 or 6 million copies.
Yeah.
But I went to Eclipse and I said, hey, I think X-Force would be something that would be a good parody and it would probably sell well. And lo and behold, we did another black and white and it sold like 70,000+ copies.
Yeah.
And actually Todd McFarlane was scheduled to do the cover for it, but unfortunately he backed out at the last minute. So Bill Mouse, who's the cover artist, was the interior artist on X-Farce back in the day. And it was his first published work and the very first time that he and I got to work together. And then after X-Farce was published, we decided just to go off on our own. So we created Parody Press like within the same year that X-Farce came out.
That's awesome. And this is now for this campaign, how many kind of like stories are in here? Because it looks like we see a lot of different teams in this as well.
Yeah, good question, Phil. It's a 48-page anthology, so 7 different stories, and we cover everything like you're looking right now at the kind of the Stan Lee, Jack Kirby origin. So we spoof everything from like the 60s X-Men all the way up to the current 2020 like House of X. So you've got Mutants, you've got I've got a story where they cross over with the Avengers, but they're in a snowstorm. So it's nothing but word balloons and sound effects for like 3 pages.
That's awesome.
There's a what if story, like what if other comic book companies had mutants? And that story is like, what if like Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, instead of working for Marvel, they went to go work for Disney or Archie. And instead of the Watcher, we have Elmer Fudd as the poacher. He's the guy narrating out in space. And what you're looking at now is the X-Farce artwork by Bill that's been recolored. That's like a center spread. And
Now,
so
does Bill do all the art in this book?
he and another guy named Bob Hannon was his roommate. So those 2 guys were working down at SeaWorld when they got this gig, and they cranked it out like in a matter of like a week. I mean, it was like a quick deadline, and it's fun. It's just kind of tongue in cheek, laugh.
I love, like, especially this page, just the art on, like the snowman. You get the Kirby Crackle. The art style is just spot on. Just takes you back to that 60s X-Men,
Great.
Killer. Yeah. And even the colors, just the flat colors are really, really cool.
Thanks. That's so you're looking at Bill on X-Farce, and then this page that we're looking at here is a different artist. So this is a 10-page. This will probably be the first story in the book because we want to kind of make it chronological. So this is called X-Cons, the beginning. And Mark Lewis is my artist on this piece.
Yeah.
And then Kurt Hathaway, who was our letterer, actually inked this as well.
Oh, wow.
And Kurt goes way back. He was actually Rob's like studio letterer at the time. So he was lettering our books and then Rob Liefeld's books at the same time in the 90s.
Awesome.
And
That's so cool.
So we asked, our colorists to kind of make it more of a muted 1960s palette. And then you've got Cesspool. This is from the X-Farce book. Right in the early 90s, that's when Deadpool kind of started to make his appearances. So we called him Cesspool, and we got a Rob Willis cover in the works, and there's a little.
Yeah, I just saw that, and someone said right here.
Yeah, right there.
Eric said that he just got the Rob cover, and I'm like, Rob who? And Rob Willis? Whoa, that's crazy! Look at that. That's so cool.
Yeah, that's just a little. There's going to be like 5 characters going at it on the cover, and that's.
Oh, really? Wow, that's exciting.
Cool. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, you should. Even if it's just like this thumbnail of Cesspool. You should definitely make a post about that on Twitter, because I haven't seen that at all. That would be.
I did share that a couple times in the last day or so, but I definitely want to keep promoting that, because I know Rob's got quite a following.
Yeah, people love his stuff. And this is kind of like a tryouts in the works here.
Yeah,
auditions. Huh?
Yeah. So this is a new story, and then Mike Barron of Nexus and Badger fame, he's been a Parody Press contributor in the past, so he contributed this 3-page story with a guy named Ted Hellard, and it's basically what if Professor X had to open auditions to the public, because one of the X-Men in the spoof story is named Hunger James, and he ate himself, so now they're left with a void of a character.
So they need a new one. That's awesome. That's really cool. Mike Barron is doing this. He seems like a guy that is just constantly writing, and he just loves to tell stories. So that's awesome that you got him working here again. That's so cool. He's
pretty prolific.
Yeah, for sure.
This is just kind of a concept sketch on the what if story. So like, what if Disney had mutants? So you've got the Beagle Boys as the Sentinels, and then Ducklops and Mouserine.
Just fun. And this is the snow story here.
Yeah, I don't know if you read Alpha Flight back in the 80s and 90s. That was a John Byrne.
Yeah, for sure.
But he did an issue which was called Snowblind, and so one of the characters who was in that was basically caught in a snowstorm, and I don't know if she was fighting like the Abominable Snowman or something, but I was inspired by that story in the early 80s. So I just thought I'll go ahead and take a stab at trying to write and let the reader imagine what's going on.
That's awesome. Super fun. Like, all of this is just, it's super fun, man. It's a good throwback too. Like, this, of course, classic cover here. But instead of Magneto, you got Magneto. It's Mr. Peanut, which is hilarious. Yeah, this is something super different that's going on than a lot of stuff that's being crowdfunded right now, again, which is another standout piece about it. And from everything from the art styles and the ideas, it's just a lot of fun. Good escapism for the current times right now.
Exactly. That was my mission, is just to make, our motto is to make the world laugh again, because after 2020 and now 2021, it's like everybody's so somber and just kind of mopey.
Yeah.
We need people to laugh again. And I grew up with movies like Airplane and Mel Brooks, Young Frankenstein and stuff. So I miss that kind of time that we had either in theaters or in reading comic books.
You can't even go to a theater anymore.
Yeah, sad, man.
Hopefully soon.
So how did you get kind of into comics? Are you a
just a fan, man? Being a fan of it, like you said, the Alpha Flight stuff. I remember when I was young getting an Alpha Flight 1 with that cover with like everybody on it, and then like Sasquatch is in the back and he's huge. Just that, the 90s X-Men cartoon, and the love for writing as I grew. Like in school, I would write a lot of poetry or short stories. In college, I got into short story writing a lot. And then that was, I also took a mythology class, which I fell in love with mythology. And I wanted to be a mythology teacher. Wow. And then, I was thinking about doing that. And then my brother and I came up with our character, the Silhouette, which we published on like really short runs. It wasn't even illustrated. It was pictures of myself and my friends photoshopped to look like a comic book. So my brother would Photoshop these, and we took it to like Wizard World back in the day, like Wizard World Chicago and stuff.
Cool, man. That's awesome. That's really cool.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it was fun stuff. So that's like an old issue 2 of the Silhouette, but now we put the Silhouette into our comic the Lost Pages, so he's like one of the main characters.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it was just kind of a love for. I think the big thing is a love for imagination, you know.
Yeah, I feel you, because a lot of those creations that I made back in, high school and college are still really dear to me, and I want to definitely come back and entertain people. So you've got a colossal executive box. We're actually having a sale this week until the weekend, and that's cool. That's $50 off right now. So if someone wanted to buy this, you get all 3 variant covers. They're all signed, free of charge, and then you get metal lunchbox, ceramic mug, and then an actual trading card, sketched, inked and drawn by Bill Mouse. Oh
wow, that's awesome! And this character is so cool. I mean, like, he has the badass '90s muscle structure down really well. And it's like you said, one of your first things you worked on was Cracked magazine, right?
Yeah, my first published work was Cracked in 1983.
That's cool. And I used to pick up Cracked stuff when I was young, like Mad and Cracked. And I liked Cracked because they do all like kind of like those spoof superheroes, and they give them like the huge chins. And this character here has that huge like Cracked magazine chin.
That's Tangerine. He's he has the power to produce any fruit juice out of his straws.
Does that ever come in handy?
If you're thirsty.
Jesus.
And that cover is I have that for sale on the page, so it's $99 off. So if someone wanted to buy original artwork, you could get the cover for like $500.
Wow, that's beautiful, man. Badass. And now this is something new you guys were doing? It's for this campaign? This is the New Mutants?
Yeah, that's most likely what you're looking at now is going to be the back cover. Cool. And that's by a guy named Thad Rhodes. And he does mixed media. So he does paint, acrylic, airbrush, colored pencils. And so I asked him to try to duplicate like the 90s, 80s Bill Sienkiewicz.
Yeah.
New Mutants look. And so my concept is these are the Newt Mutants, and they're like flunkies of the Van Sciver Institute. And so Professor X takes them under their wing and tries to teach them to be heroes.
Very awesome. Kick-ass, man. More black and whites. These are really cool.
Yeah, just showing you some samples of artwork for sale. That's actually, you mentioned that you like the X-Men cartoon series, and Mark actually, after he drew for us in the 90s, Mark got a job being a concept artist on the X-Men.
Wow.
Yeah, so he's a professional animator now.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, it was a legendary series. I hear they're wanting to bring it back with like for Disney Plus or something.
Oh, that would make sense.
Yeah, hopefully it's not trash.
Yeah. So yeah, that's essentially the campaign, and we're adding more and more things as we go along that we think of creatively. Like just today, I added like a digital download of the Mighty Boar for like $5, and on my streams, if you guys will ever want to subscribe to my channel on YouTube, you can go there. And I'm trying to do a stream like at least 2 or 3 times a week, and I'll give away comics or sketches or.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'll have auctions and stuff. So that's been a lot of fun.
And what's your YouTube called?
Just Don Chin.
Perfect. Yeah, everybody go subscribe to that channel. I wanted to know about these bad guy characters, because this mastermind character has a little hamster in his head.
Yeah, if you look down at the little blurb box at the end, it shows who they are. So the guy that looks like a toe is a spoof of the Toad.
Oh, yes.
So we call him the Toe. And then instead of mastermind, he's got a hamster, in his brain. So that's hamstermind. And then you've already named Magneto, who is the master of the vacuum seal. And over on the right, instead of Quicksilver, it's Quacksilver.
There you go.
And then last but not least, the Scarlet Wrench. Rimshot. And this is
I
all
like-
this is all Mark Lewis. Like he just did this for us last year, and he did all the typography. He made it look like it was stressed and like from the '60s. So
yeah, I really love that, and that's like the extra care that goes into these pages, especially here. Like you're talking about, like the stressed and worn page. I really dig that, and I've seen. I work with an artist named Pablo Romero, and he does the cover work for Magicop. And so he does that very 80s retro style.
Exactly. I saw that on your video and your campaign page. It has it makes me feel like kind of Miami Vice, but I grew up going to arcades, and when I looked at your color scheme, I thought this has the neon glow when you go into an arcade. It felt like that.
Yeah, man. That's what we were going for. In fact, the Magicop idea was we came up with it so it would be an arcade game because we work for the production company. Yeah. So we were planning on making it into a game. And then I, came up with all these bad guys and bosses and the characters in there. And we're like, we have so much content. We should just tell it as a comic book.
Wow, cool, man.
Yeah, so that's how that worked. But Pablo, the cover artist, he does his own series. It's like a webtoon series. It's called Man Eater. But he does this, stressing on the page, and even he insets the next page reversed in the background, faded, so it's like you could kind of see it through the page, even though it's digital on a computer. It's really cool.
Wow, that's pretty creative.
Yeah, he's really good.
So what part of the United States are you in, Phil?
We're in the Chicagoland area. We're like 20 minutes from Chicago.
Okay, cool. Nice.
Yeah. Let's look at the stuff you guys have to offer here. You get all three variants, which is these two. Well, it's which ones are these?
It's the Bill Mouse, and then the Mark Lewis 60s, and then the Rob Willis, which is still in production. Right.
And then the New Mutants is the back cover, correct?
Correct.
All right. Nice. Yeah. I would, that's awesome, especially, getting the Rob Willis thing. Like I said, that's a big pull. We already, had someone back it in the stream here. Definitely push that out because that people are going to love seeing him do these characters. It's a lot of fun. Does Domino's have any powers?
She just delivers pizzas. Looks cute.
She's pretty cute.
Yeah, there's a running gag in the X-FARCE book about her, and she's always in a hurry because she's got a deadline.
That's good. So this is what is the Mighty Boar?
We were just on a drawing stream with Sim on Sunday, and one of my artists was invited as well as Bill Mouse and Michael Gracia, who does the kind of the Disney X-Men. He just drew this digital print of the Mighty Boar, and he said, I want to donate this to the campaign. So I said, well, let me think about how I could incorporate it. So I just thought, well, why don't I just offer a digital download and see how it goes? So if someone buys that, they'll get sent like the high-res PDF of it, and then they can just print it out on their end and have like a 10 by 15 cool image.
Kick ass. And we got Felix Haas in the chat. What's up? Thank you for tuning in. We're just talking about some X-FARCE right here, going through the perks. X-FARCE 1 tribute cover. So this is your standard cover here. And of course you can get the different covers individually. There's that beautiful starting of that Rob Willis cover. Really cool, of Cesspool, looking like a badass. I'm really excited to see that when it's done. And now this, what's that?
Go ahead. I was going to say, Phil, that on another show, someone said, what you ought to do is say you have a Rob Willis cover and then just put a photo of Rob Willis on it. And
that would be.
So I mentioned that to Rob, and I said, well, Rob, if I know you're already doing a cover for us, but do you have like a funny picture of yourself that we could put on the back cover and I could advertise a Rob Willis back cover? And he gave it some thought, but then he says, no, I think too many people would think I was a narcissist if I did that. So
there's a picture. I mean, Rob Willis is like shredded out of his mind. Like he is probably the person in comics with the least amount of body fat. Like I see, he did like a crunch post one day with
really?
his abs showing, and the guy's shredded. So it would be hilarious. A picture of him lifting his shirt up. That would be Parody Press all the way. That would be so funny. So Parody Press Comics Vault Pack. Tell me what this is, because this sounds really interesting.
Yeah, that's actually been selling. I originally had it for a little bit higher price, but then I thought let me reduce it. But in the 90s, Phil, Bill and I and my wife, we published literally about 150 different parodies. Yeah. So I've got just a small quantity because I've moved here and there, and so I've got a long box full of these assorted Parody Press books. So I thought, well, why don't I just offer 5 assorted issues signed for $50 and see what happens. And like in the last week, I've sold like 4 vault packs. So you don't know what you're gonna get. I mean, it could be Superman, Spider-Man, an X-Men spoof for the hamsters, but it's going to be something from the 90s all the way up to 2007. Yeah, which was our last book.
Oh, wow, cool. That's really fun. Who is this? So I saw this image, and I saw this character who looks like a spoof on Lobo, and I'm a huge Lobo fan. What was that character?
What was his name unfortunately, I don't remember what Bill Mouse called his character in the comic book.
He looks like a clown almost. He's got like
it might have been Bozo.
That would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not.
Cool.
But Stupid Man was our spoof of Superman that sold quite well.
Yeah, that's the Death of Stupid Man cover, right?
Right.
Very cool. Yeah, so if you guys want to see more stuff that Don's done, definitely pick up a Parody Press Vault pack. Really cool. And then you're doing some sketch cards, and this is original art, correct?
Yeah, that's Bill Mouse. He'll draw. I said, it'll be the character of his choice, but if you email me after you place an order and you say, I'd like Bill to draw this specific character, I'm sure he would accommodate that. And that comes with an issue of the comic book, his cover as well.
Oh, nice. Beautiful. And then you got a big, large pack, usually like for
retailers.
Yeah. Those are interesting because on both campaigns that we've done, Magic Hop and the Lost Pages, we didn't sell any retailer packs until after we started shipping the books in demand. So it was cool because that's a lot of comics going out, and hopefully they'll be in a store somewhere, which is really awesome.
Yeah. That's good to know, man, because I wasn't sure. I haven't had any bites on the 6-pack or the 10-pack, even though some dealers were saying, oh, you need to make a retailer pack available. But I guess I'll just have to overprint and hope that somebody,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, leaving your stuff in demand, even when you're shipping, because what happens is other fans that didn't order it will see that their buddies got it, and they'll post it on Twitter and stuff like that. And then they'll be like, oh, this looks cool. It gets good reviews. I'm going to pick it up, now that I have some extra money. That definitely is the way that we've been doing it for our 2 books that we put out.
How long can you go in demand once you've?
So I think you could leave it open and you look at guys like Vinny Tartamella. He's done that where he has a campaign that he did last year that's still open, but he's using it basically like as an online store, and in fact, I think he's even reprinted and it's still up like that. The only criteria that you would have to meet for they would take it down is if you have no sales for more than 6 months.
Oh, okay.
So, and then it goes down automatically.
Yeah. I haven't decided if I'm going to extend. This is just the 30-day campaign we're in. Right. We're almost up to like halfway. Mm-hmm. So everybody said, just initially go 30, see what happens. What's been your experience with your books? Do you go 30 or 60 or? Yeah, we usually do
the 30 days and then extend because it helps bringing in people that aren't like in your circle of people, kind of like outsiders that are just kind of surfing Indiegogo, because Indiegogo then gives you a algorithmic boost on like your last, 72 hours, you'll get a boost. They'll put you like on the front page of like, this is the campaign that's ending soon. And then, and then you could extend for another 30 days, and then you'll get another one of those boosts at the end of that one, and then you can go in demand.
Do you see kind of like the initial, when you're in the starting gate, you probably get most of your backers then, and then there's kind of a lull maybe in the middle? And then
for sure. Yeah, everybody talks about that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of, especially for your first campaign, you'll have the first week will be good, then you'll have a slow 2 weeks, and then the last week will be really good, right? So to double up on that is you extend for the extra 30 days. Plus, it's more time of you being on streams, more people getting to know you, and then more of a radius you'll accumulate over time.
Gotcha. So on your first book, Phil, I mean, how many have you done now? Like how many crowdfunding?
So we just basically finished our second one.
Okay. Yeah. On your first one, what was your goal, your funding goal?
So on both of them, our funding goal was $3,000. And let's see, after 60 days on Magic Cop 1, we made like $4,700. And then when we were in demand, it took us like 4 or 5 months to complete the book, and we hit our fulfillment date. We weren't late on that, but from when we ended the 60 days till when we started shipping, we almost made like $10,000 extra.
Wow.
Yeah. We ended like at 13,000 and something.
Was that better than you expected?
Yeah, for sure. We had never done that before. We never crowdfunded before, so we didn't really know where we were gonna land, and we thought like we needed to kind of make up costs and stuff to get like 6,000, and then we shot past that from being on all the shows and people getting to know us and promoting all the time. And then for the second campaign, it was even bigger than that. Like in the first, I'd say like 5 hours we were open, we were funded, and then beat our Magic Cop 2-month funding.
Wow.
And by the second day, I think we had $7,000. And I think like 4 days we made $10,000 on that one.
Cool. So it probably helped that you actually showed that you were going to fulfill the first one, and then
for sure,
you earn people's trust, and they will be a repeat customer.
Yeah, that's it's all about trust, and the crowdfunding, it's all about experimenting. Like for us, everything's a risk for the creator. Everything is experimental for the creator. The cool thing about crowdfunding is you could put up perks like say the lunchbox thing, and if no one gets it, then you don't have to make it, right? But if people get it, then that's good. It's good for you. You can have fun that way. But yeah, it's all, especially right now on crowdfunding, it's all about the relationship between the creator and the consumer, and making sure you're keeping your promises and updating them. Communication is there, because that is what builds a great relationship between those two entities. And basically doing all these comics, it's so people could be entertained, so you can let them escape from their lives.
How often do you typically update?
During the campaign, especially to keep backers excited, I like to update with new stuff to show off once a week. That's what I would do. Being like, hey, we put up this new thing, or hey, look at the progress on this Rob Willis cover or whatever, and keep your backers in the loop of that. I don't think that's that's just what I do. I don't know if that's a standard for people, but definitely update as much as possible. Don't do it too much, but what I've done is once a week during the campaign.
I'm on like update number 9, because I've heard differing thoughts, but I see like Billy Tucci.
Yeah, he machine guns them out.
And he does one like every day.
Yeah, I've heard from some people that might be too much, and especially, we definitely just talked about this topic, the update things. We were on Michael Bancroft's stream a couple of nights ago, and that's an awesome stream to listen to, especially now because he's going through these like crowdfunding tip topics and getting a really good conversation between the chat and the creators. So we talked about updates, and he had me on because he knows that I'm kind of well known for being good with updates like that. And it's very specific on how much you want to put in an update to, because you don't want the person to just open it and then close it. I would say always put an image in there as well, so they have something to look at, and so they'll look at the update a little longer and then maybe read into it, and so they get that information.
Gotcha. Yeah, I put a link to your campaign on my update because it was last night.
Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Yeah, and this is you have a lot of original art on here too, right?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Very
There's
good.
three pages from Mark, and then the cover sketch by him, the Bill Mouse cover, and then Thad. All of Thad's work is for sale. The guy that's doing the New Mutants.
Yeah, cool. Oh, this is cool. Is this from an interior page?
Yeah, that's one of like I said, he works in a Painterly illustrated style. So that's Wolfsbane, WOFS. So she turns into a Scottish Terrier instead of a wolf.
It's ridiculous. Oh, really cool, man. Oh, yeah, you got the original Rob Willis one.
Yeah, Rob's not cheap. I had, even with that price, it's not that big of a markup.
Right. Oh, no, I believe it, man. He's a worker. Yeah, man, this looks great. This is, get it on as many streams as you can, and I know you have been doing so. And people in the chat, if you guys have not checked this out, definitely do so. They got a lunchbox. Everybody loves that. That's really cool. And a Rob Willis cover. So everybody's got to look into that. And definitely stay tuned. Follow Don on Twitter, because I know he's going to have a lot of updates about that piece. It's going to be kick ass, man. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Yeah, anything else you wanted to say, Don?
Yeah, I guess if you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm at Real Don Chin on Twitter, and I think it's the same on Instagram. ParodyPressComics.com takes you to our Facebook page, but X-FARCE.com will take you right to Indiegogo and the link if you want to check out the campaign or follow it and whatnot. And then get ready for Beard Zerker. The script is all done, and Bill Mouse he has to finish his current Nera X crowdfunding book, and then he's on to drawing and inking Beard Zerker.
That's going to be kick-ass. I'm excited for that. And yeah, guys, you brought up a good point, Don. Even if you, are interested in X-Farce and don't have the money right now to get it, definitely hit this follow heart right here, because then you get all the updates that Don puts out on this. So you could track that as well and share it out too, because this looks like fun. And it looks like something we're not seeing right now in comics. So a good way to get away from all the hell that's breaking loose.
Thanks, Bill. And it's not going to be that long of a wait, guys. If you do back it, the book is about 90% done.
Oh, nice.
We've already hit our funding goal, so it wasn't really, to me, a big thing if I made a lot of money on this. This is more like me getting back into the business and learning what it is to crowdfund and showing that I'm going to deliver a really good product, even if I'm only like 2,500 right now. But I'm going to print this book no matter what, even though I'm not, coming out in the black.
Mm-hmm.
But it's okay, because I got another job. I'm blessed, and this is kind of testing the waters of getting back into comics again, and it's great. I get to meet guys like you and Mr. E, and it's been a great experience.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm glad that you're doing this, getting your feet wet again, even though they used to be soaked.
Right. I think I was drowning, actually. I was putting out too much stuff. I couldn't, we were doing like 5 or 6 books a month. So
that's insane.
Nowadays it's like, wow, crowdfunding, I'll be lucky to get 1 or 2 out a year.
Yeah. Here's a good tip for most important thing about promoting comics: the silly outfits. That's so you see a lot of people with those. Yesterday, I was in a Crocodile Dundee outfit because I
Okay.
had an Australian on the show. So
Oh man, I might have to go to the Goodwill store and see what they have.
yeah,
I think Ethan's got like a whole wardrobe, right?
I know, it's crazy. Well, Don, before we cut out here, is it cool if I show some other books to talk about what we got going
Please.
on?
I'd be happy to do
Awesome.
much.
So I don't know if you saw this one. This is my buddy's book, Grave Robbers. It is really cool. It's like a Western horror.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, awesome art by Passion for Drawing. And it's basically about these this band of bounty hunters that hunt the supernatural. And in this story, they go to this town that's been kind of not overrun, but it's being reaped on by someone that's killing, digging up bodies and using them for nefarious things. But lots of bloody action. Look at that.
It looks great.
Yeah. The main guy, his name is Big Dick Murphy, short for Richard. And he's a werewolf. He turns into a werewolf here.
All right.
And ripping some people's arms off. This chick is a demon chick. She could teleport. And then this other old guy, he's like a mummy. He's like mummified.
Wow.
Sandy and stuff. Really cool action. And they need to get funded still. So people, if you're in the chat, you haven't backed this one, please do so. They got 5 days left. And want to see this book happen. So definitely. That
looks kind of like a good video game premise as well.
Yeah. It's lots of cool art, really high action stuff. And then, of course, guys, if you guys haven't checked out our books here at Zade Comics, we have the Lost Pages still on Indiegogo in demand. For some reason, we're all the way at the bottom here. Let's go all the way at the top now. We have this beautiful cover by Simon Bisley.
Wow, really?
Yeah, man. He's my favorite. I'm such a huge Lobo fan. Bisley is a god to me. And he blessed us with this cover. So we had 2 signed copies left. So if you guys are a fan of Bisley, you can get one that has been signed by him.
Wow.
So basically, this is kind of an anthology setting the foundation for our heroic universe of characters here. We have the Silhouette, which I showed you those old Silhouette comics.
Awesome.
This is him. Looks like a badass now because he's actually drawn. So it kind of jumps genres from different times of comics. So if you're a fan of like Sin City, Frank Miller-esque type of inner monologue stuff, the Silhouette is your character. He's a supernatural vigilante. We have some supernatural sorcery going on here with Wildcard. He's during this time he's a pirate on the high seas, getting overrun by these sirens. Some beautiful art by Joe Ball. If you're a fan of 90s comics, Crimstone, you have this high action, kind of psychological badass monster here.
Yeah, kind of looks like the Pit a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. And it's kind of a cool aspect to this one, Don. This monster is actually this girl's imaginary friend from when she was a little girl.
Oh.
And he's grown up now.
Awesome.
During the time that she forgot about him, he was battling her inner demons in her head.
Oh, wow.
Becomes
so you read all these, Phil?
Yeah, I'm the sole writer on all these stories here.
Very cool, man.
Thanks. And then the last one is The Masquerade. He's kind of like the 1930s pulp hero, like the Shadow, the Green Hornet. So,
very cool, dude. You've got a whole universe.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to build. I'm actually writing the follow-up to this story, kind of diving into one of the characters a little bit more right now. So everyone check out the Lost Pages, please. I think we have one more to ship out. I think we sold one today, which is awesome. Thank you. And then sign up for Magic Cop 2. This is a totally different speed than the Lost Pages. It's crazy 1980s action, kind of crime, mixture between Miami Vice and Halloween Town, stuff like that. We got giant leprechauns. We got wolfmen, witches. This character is cool. Don, you might like this guy. He's a contract killer that's hired to take out one of the police officers, and his name's the Headless Hitman. Of course, based on the Sleepy Hollow character.
Right. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So is the pumpkin head part of his costume, or?
So yeah, it's his helmet that he wears. This is like a helmet visor. So when he rides his motorcycle, it's his helmet. And then, he throws it at people too. But he also has an axe too, so he could chop heads off.
I was a big Ghost Rider fan. Were you?
Yeah. Ghost Rider is awesome. The imagery in just Ghost Rider, just nothing could beat that because it's so shocking, So badass. Very cool. Yeah, so check out, sign up for Magic Out 2. You got a free poster when you back it.
Congratulations, man. You got a lot of good energy. I go places.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm trying to make this comic thing work. So it's really fun too, because I'm passionate about it, and it's really cool to see when people get the books in their hands or say good stuff about it. It just makes my day. Nice.
Do you fulfill these yourself?
Yeah, my brother and I, we pack everything and kind of like have a conveyor belt of I pack stuff in there, and then he puts it in the box and tapes it up, and he does the stamps.com thing. So yeah, we've been doing that.
Is Zaid your last name?
It's my last name backwards. My last name is Diaz.
Ah, okay, gotcha. Now I get it.
Yeah. A lot of people it takes them a while, but yeah, that's us. Everyone's like, "Oh, does it mean this or something?" And I think like Zaid is a. I've seen people like Indian people, like Middle Easterns. They have the same spelling, but it's Zaid. It's pronounced that way.
Okay.
Yeah. But now, it's our last name backwards.
Awesome. Now I get it.
Yeah. Well, Don, thanks, man, for coming on. I've had a blast looking at this and seeing all the new stuff that you have going on here. And Beard Zerker is going to be huge.
I appreciate that, man. And I'll have you on my show one of these days. I will do that.
For sure, man. Yeah, everybody in the chat, thanks for tuning in. Like I said before, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you guys are notified when we're going live on this thing. And we appreciate you being here. We'll probably see you maybe this weekend for another show. I know that Billy Tucci is going to come on here. We're going to be talking about his new She book, which is looking awesome. I just did a review of his previous one, which was killer. Definitely check that out on our channel, talking about that. But until next time, we will see you guys